for a greater reason. You are a visionary of light. You're a visionary, someone who can see far ahead and see the greater perspective of all things. And now that all the destinies have been made known to you, what would you choose to do? So, if someone asks you, what workshop you attended? No, it's about my destiny. So what is destiny? So the definition of destiny is here. It's not as, the simple explanation is destiny is to find your higher purpose and live it. Okay, but that is just the kind of like the idea of it. The whole process is here. The process of seeking and becoming your destiny. Okay, all these are what we call your birthrights. You are expected to experience happiness and self-worth. You are expected to experience abundance. You are expected to have total control of your life, power. You are expected to be free from anyone's expectations and only do things that are meaningful to you. And lastly, you are expected to say whatever you want to say without fear of being judged. Okay? As long as your intention is not to hurt the other person. Okay? And sometimes you might find that you may have, you may catch yourself, oh, I'm saying this because I want to punish the other person. Okay? It only means that some of your unworthiness or fear is being challenged. So take a step back and look at that.
But wait, the other party offended by your statement
okay.
was.
So if your intention is not to hurt the other person, but they are offended, and that is their lesson. Yeah. Because how many people can we please? No one. You can't please anyone. Okay. Of course, having said that, sometimes there are a bit nicer ways to say something or not so nice way to say things, but it doesn't matter. As long as you are, number one, true to yourself, number two, your intention is not to hurt the other person, then that's it. Speak your truth. Speak your truth and hold your peace. How they react is not your responsibility. You're not here to save them. Okay? So that becomes easier to do when you break free from conformity. Because I no longer care how you feel about me. I care how I feel about me. This is my truth. Okay, so yes, there will be people who don't like it, but there will also be people who actually respect that. Okay, so when you live your truth, you start to see truly people in your life who are there out of fear, out of guilt, or who really resonate and feel connected to you. This can only happen when you speak your truth. Okay? So, because as within, so without. To create truth in your external environment, you first have to live a truthful life. Next is denial. Denial. Only see what I want to see. That is denial. Now, the denial keeps us within our comfort zone, which is not to change. So, comfort zone is comfortable. You can enjoy it for a while, but you cannot get stuck in it. Okay? I'm not saying comfort zone is like all bad. Enjoy for a while, but don't stay there too long. Okay? Yes. So comfort zone keeps you from growing eventually. And then we start to give ourselves reasons why we should not change. So that is denial. So denial is your egoic mind justifying why we should still do the things we do, the things that keep us in a state of dishonesty and illusion. We tell ourselves that we are happy, that we are living our high purpose when in fact we are not. Okay, so look around your life now. Are you still doing things the same way you have been doing them the last 1 year? No, right? Most of you. Good. How about the last 10 years? Okay, are you still having the same problems cropping up again in life from 10 years ago on? Okay, because if 10 years ago still got comfort zone. 1 year is too excusable, but 10 years is quite long. Okay, that's why for those who study any form of astrology, Chinese astrology or Western astrology, there's this thing called a 10-year block, 10-year luck cycles, right? Because why? You are expected to grow every 10 years, to learn something new, to be different, to be better than the previous 10 years. That's why they come in blocks of 10 years, or about plus minus 1-2 years. In fact, that is the purpose of astrology, to map out not your life, but your life curriculum. Okay, I repeat, astrology maps not your life, but your life curriculum. That means the things you are here to learn and here to master. Okay, when you have that understanding in your mind and you look at any chart, it will make much more sense to you. A lot of people, they look at the chart and say, oh, when will I get rich, or when will I get married, when will I this, when will I that? Never, 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 never. Because a person who asks that, it means that they have no idea what's happening in their life. So the answer is always no, we will not get it. Oh, will I get married? No, nobody wants to. Will I be rich? No. No wisdom to make money. So sad, right? And then your client will be depressed. And I said, but don't be depressed. Here's what you can do. Right? Don't leave your clients depressed and go home, right, charming. Tell them, oh, this is what you can do. And after you try this, come back in 6 months. Whatever form of reading that you use, even tarot reading, for yourself. Okay? So you don't have to, you shouldn't look at your chart every single day. Don't do that, because nothing will change in 1 day or even 1 week. Okay, do it maybe 3 months once or 6 months once. Do a review on yourself, and if you're scared that you're in denial, only want to see what you want to see, get your friend to help you or a professional to help you do your life reviews. Okay, for myself, I always get a second opinion. Normally I'll find Cheryl or Sri or something, because sometimes not sometimes, many times I fall into denial. Only see what I want to see, or so used to seeing, right? Sometimes you don't even know that you're in denial. Or even you know that you deny, then you're in denial. I'm not in denial. Okay, so again, look for patterns. If patterns are repeating, 10 years ago, problems still happening, you are definitely in denial. Okay? So, what are the lessons of these problems? You need to find out, or did you run away from them again and again? Okay, so yeah, all the problems in your life happen for you. Remember, not happen to you, happen for you. Okay, they are yours because you require them to grow. So every single, let's say, problematic person in your life, you require them to help you grow as well. So one day you have to thank them. Okay? So every problem you avoid is a squandered opportunity for growth. So every problem you avoid, you are actually throwing away an opportunity to learn, to master something. Okay, so this part, my favorite part. Many have read about and learned the spiritual laws, including metaphysics, but not many have the courage to put them into use. Okay, many people can speak the lingo, it means the language, recite the sacred texts, some they memorize all the old books, line after line of esoteric language. Not many find the courage to walk or talk. We can only talk, but cannot do it. Okay? So, what happens is this: when you know the spiritual laws and you choose not to apply them in your life, you are in denial. Okay? When you repeat the spiritual laws to another person, but you don't practice any of them yourself, you are abusing the spiritual laws. Okay, please take note. If you don't want to do it in your life, don't tell other people to do it. Okay? That's why for me to teach this also, I went through a lot of crap first. To clear my own shit. before I can finally like sit here and talk about this. Which was a challenge I gave myself. And certain weeks were easier, certain weeks were definitely more challenging. Okay, because if I tell you, oh, this is spiritual law, it's so great, you must do this, and I don't do it, I'm abusing the spiritual law. And there will be consequences. It's not punishment, but because if I am spreading falsehoods, incongruence, remember the topic? Okay, what you say is not what you are, what you feel. Okay, then things around you will become very strange and complicated and confusing as well, and dramatic. Okay? And you are pretending to be more spiritual than others with the misconception that it elevates you into faultlessness. Okay? So don't think that you memorize all my notes, then you become perfect, spiritually perfect. That is total denial. Okay? And I've seen many people go into that state. So when that happens, I will tell them you need to go away for a while. Because right now, because if you believe that you are spiritually perfect, you have become unteachable or unlearnable. You cannot learn anything anymore. You have stopped learning. You have decided that because I'm perfect, right? I know all the rules, all the spiritual laws. I know, but I never do. I know. Okay? When you reach that stage, you will find that nothing you learn will go into your system. Generally. Okay? So you need to go out there back in life, and life will teach you how to break free from that. Okay? And usually the hard way. Learning from a class is considered the easier way. Learning from life, especially if you know when the patterns repeat like 10 times, 20 times, then it becomes harder and harder. Okay? So just be aware of this. Do not fall into this trap. Denial is a very powerful illusion. It's the most powerful illusion of all in our spiritual journey. The denial. Okay, so you believe that you're spreading the light, but actually all you're doing is sharing your confusion and uncertainty. Okay, so how do you know that you are spreading the light or you're spreading confusion? Very easy. You look at people around you, how they are acting. If they're acting clearly, if they are empowered, yes, you are spreading the light. If the people around you, all of them are confused, dramatic, crazy, all of them, you are not spreading the light. You're spreading something else. Disease. Okay? So just please be aware of this. The fact that if you can be aware of all these things I've just talked about, you really transcend the majority of people already. You have the superpower called self-reflection, which is coming up afterwards. And I know it sounds very common, self-reflection, but after so many years of teaching and researching and experiencing all the spiritual and metaphysical conditions, I find that self-reflection is a commodity. It's a very, very powerful commodity that has to be developed over time and with experience. Okay, and if you have self-reflection, congratulations. It's a big thing to have. Not the previous ones are abundance and all this thing. Yes, they are very important, but self-reflection is the most powerful. Because when you have self-reflection, you can develop all the others very easily. When you have no self-reflection, meaning you're in total denial, it's very hard to learn any of the lessons. Okay, I think next page is, I'll come to that later, don't worry. So self-reflection is so important. Okay, so then, so when you're in denial, the seventh spiritual law, the law of grace, will be withheld from you. What is the law of grace? I'll explain afterwards. First, disclaimer there, withholding the final law is not a form of punishment, because punishment does not exist in unconditional laws of the universe. The law of grace cannot be accessed without purifying denial. And the key to transcending denial is self-reflection. self-reflection. I remember when I was very young and watching all these Chinese movies, and I heard this phrase, which was I thought was very, very interesting. And it's not a very cultured phrase. It's called "all dog new, jiu ha gang." It means, like when you pee a puddle, you can see your own reflection there. And I actually thought it was very profound. Because the simple act of urinating is also an opportunity to self-reflect. So I thought it was quite profound. So that was how I learned the concept of self-reflection. Anyway, yeah. So I can't post that online, right? I say, the wisdom of looking at your puddle of pee. Not very nice. Okay? So instead you say the world is my mirror. Yes. So what I actually mean is that yeah, look into the toilet bowl and you see a reflection. Okay? So the world is your mirror. This thing is not the first time you've heard it in chapter 2 before. Going back to the fundamental law of creation, which states, as within, so without. What we see around us is a reflection of what we are experiencing inside of us. Do you remember this, right? As such, all our life challenges at this very moment reflect something back to us. But are we willing to see this as key lessons to growth, or do we take them as personal attacks, which we choose to avoid dealing with? Okay? Again, many people would see their life problems as being personal attacks. Oh, life is so unfair. Why I have this problem? Why this person treat me like that? I don't deserve to be treated like that. Okay? So again, that is challenging your self-worth, your sense of self. But that's why when you restore some of your self-worth, right? Not all, just a little bit, you will be able to say that, hey, maybe this has something to teach me. Okay, but when you are not at that state yet, you don't know what is self-worth. Okay, so what will happen is that you will react to everything that happens to you, and you take it very personally, and you feel, it's so unfair. You feel like people are taking advantage of you, trying to cheat you, or life is just so unfair. The world's a dangerous place. When you still have all those beliefs, you will never see the lessons. Okay, not strong enough to want to see the lessons. Still very fragile. Okay. So, yeah. So for self-reflection, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 general scenarios that normally happen in people's lives. It's not your life, it's someone you know. You have one of these problems. So we'll go through all of them, the list of my favorite problems. Okay, number 1. Okay, common complaint people have: lack of clarity, constant uncertainty, and unhappiness. Okay, for example, people come to you and they say, I feel depressed, or I don't know why I'm here, or they're just not happy. Okay, it's not that something happened, or sometimes something happened, then they feel unhappy, but generally, many people are unhappy on a daily basis, but they don't know why. So here is the answer. Incongruent action. Okay, what you say is not what you do, number 1. You send mixed messages to the universe, which respond in kind. So if you remember what is mixed messages, that means what you feel is not what you say. So you are sending mixed messages to the universe, and because the universe is only a mirror, it sends back to you situations that are mixed, therefore confusing. Okay, so if anyone has a complaint of my life is so confusing, stop doing this. Only say what you mean. Okay? Or you only act in ways that are expected of you and accepted by society. You believe that how others see you is more important than being truly happy. So this one goes under conformity, which is the same topic. Okay? You believe that how others see you is more important than how you see yourself. Okay? You need external validation. Okay? When you feel that it is important how others see you, What it means is that you still need external validation. Worthiness. Okay, you still need others to tell you, to give you the message that, oh yes, you're good enough. You are not unworthy. Okay? And sooner or later, somebody will tell you that you are not good enough. And you're like, oh, I'm so victimized, so charmed. Facebook, upload pic, selfie, sad selfie. Okay? Failing to see the lesson that that person is challenging you to restore your own self-worth, because no one in the world can give you self-worth. It doesn't come in a box with a nice ribbon around it. You have to one day discover that, hey, I'm good enough. And we don't need a reason to be good enough. Okay, the fact that I'm here, that I'm generally a good person, a nice person, that's fantastic.
But why do people keep on coming and telling you are not good enough because you're too kind?
Yeah, that is part of it. So
we need to leave this kind of...
that makes sense, because sometimes we do things to get validation. For example, why sometimes people, oh, my present for you, oh, I must pay the bill, oh, I must do this for you, I must do that for you. Yes, they're happy to do it, but the motivation under that action is seeking validation. Yes. Simple as that. Of course, there's nothing wrong with wanting to buy a friend lunch or dinner. But if you find that you have that need to buy everyone's meal for them, it is in exchange for validation. Okay, so always be aware why you need to do something. Actually, you don't need to do anything. Okay, but always be aware why you do it. I'm not saying you cannot do it, you need to know why you're doing it. Most people do it for validation. Okay, why do you need to say nice things to people? Oh, you're so pretty today, you're so clever, you're so this and that. It's also to an exchange for validation. Of course, I'm not saying that you cannot say nice things to people. You can, but make sure you mean it, not because you want something in return. Okay, and another example, this is one of the best examples that I learned. If you tell someone I love you, must they say the same thing back to you? For most people, they are waiting for the same reply.